Okay, so if you have been watching this season of Singles Inferno with a bingo card in your lap, just thinking you had the whole narrative figured out, go ahead and tear that card up right
Oh,
now.
absolutely. Just throw it away.
Because episode 9 just aired. And let me tell you, the script, it didn't just get flipped. It got thrown into a bonfire and pushed out to sea. Nothing, and I mean literally, nothing went the way anyone thought it would.
No, it really was a total disruption of the status quo. Usually by episode 9, we're settling into the endgame couples, the hierarchy is set. But this episode was essentially a coup d'etat.
A complete overthrow.
Exactly. We saw the established main character, Mina Sue, just completely lose control of the narrative. And we saw the side characters, specifically Minji and Ju Young, decide they were done waiting for permission to play the game.
It was absolute chaos, and I am living for every second of it. We have established hierarchies crumbling. We have the quiet friend zone guy dropping a resume that arguably broke the internet. And we have the queen bee, Minasu, suddenly realizing her hive has moved on.
They really did move on.
So today, our mission for this deep dive is to unpack this massive shift. We are going to analyze the descendering of Minasu and the really aggressive strategic rise of the underdogs.
And we have to talk about the psychology behind that hat and tail game. That wasn't just a physical challenge. That was, frankly, years of repressed frustration manifesting as combat.
Oh, it was so personal. Plus, we have the most awkward helicopter ride in cinematic history, a dining room chess match that Minji absolutely dominated, and a cliffhanger that proved karma is a boomerang. So buckle up. Let's dive in.
Let's start right at the beginning, the return from paradise. The group is crammed into a helicopter flying back to Inferno. And usually these transit scenes are throwaways, just, B-roll of the ocean. But here, the body language told the entire story of the season.
It was so loud without anyone saying a single word. On one side, you have Hee-sun and Subin. Hee-sun is feeling a little airsick, looking super pale, and what does Subin do?
He makes a move.
He doesn't just ask if she's okay. He grabs her hand. He rests his head on her shoulder. It was so intimate, I was swooning in my living room. It felt like they were a solid, established married couple coming back from a honeymoon.
That's exactly what it projected. In sociology, we call that a tie sign.
A tie sign.
Right. By engaging in that level of public physical touch in a confined group setting, Subin is broadcasting a signal. He is effectively marking the territory and raising the entry cost for anyone else who wants to approach him. It says, we are a unit. But then you have to contrast that with the seats right next to them.
The danger zone. Minasu and Sung-il. I mean, talk about a temperature drop. Sung-il looked like he wanted to tuck and roll out of the chopper mid-flight. He was just so over it.
He really was.
And we know why. Because Minasu spent their entire luxury date talking about how much she missed Subin. Yeah, Sung-il's ego is severely bruised here. He realized he was the backup plan. And his body language, leaning away, staring out the window, is his way of regaining some power by rejecting her before she can reject him again. And this really sets the tone for the kitchen politics we see immediately upon arrival.
We have a kitchen scene.
The group walks in, and we get a very telling interaction involving Go-yoon.
Okay, this part stressed me out so much. Go-yoon walks in. She's carrying her heavy luggage. She hasn't even set her bags down or taken off her shoes. And Sung-min, the guy we've tagged as the boring stable option, immediately stands up and claims her.
He was right there.
He practically drags her into a conversation before she can even breathe. I was yelling at the screen, "Sir, let her drop the luggage." It felt a little, possessive.
It was highly territorial, driven by a scarcity mindset. Sung-min knows Go-yoon just came back from a date with Han-woo, who was objectively more exciting and charismatic.
Right. So Sung-min feels threatened. And he overcompensates with immediate proximity. He's trying to block the competition physically. But what's fascinating is why Go-yoon actually allowed it.
Because her date with Han-woo was a disaster. We get that confessional afterwards where she reveals that Han-woo was, well, let's call it too much.
Too much is putting it very politely.
She basically said his line should have stayed on Wattpad. She called him too intense and said he was acting like they were already dating. I mean, holding hands, deep gazing when they barely knew each other. It was a total cringe fest.
It really was.
So even though Sung-min was being super aggressive in the kitchen, suddenly the boring option is looking pretty good to her because at least he's not acting like he's in a soap opera.
That's the pivot point for her. Go-yoon experienced the roller coaster with Han-woo and got motion sickness. Now she's looking at the merry-go-round of Sung-min and thinking, okay, stability isn't so bad. She's trading excitement for safety.
Makes sense.
But while Go-yoon is seeking safety, Minji is seeking war.
Oh, yes, she is.
Let's move to the central conflict of this episode, the conversation between Minji and Minasu.
This was the moment. The visual irony here was just off the charts. They are walking off for a private chat, holding hands like besties, swinging their arms, but the energy, it was pure ice. You could tell they were just being polite for the cameras because, let's be real, they are essentially fighting over the exact same territory.
And Minji doesn't waste time with pleasantries at all. She asked the million-dollar question that everyone has been too polite to ask Minasu directly. Who do you like right now?
And Minasu does what Minasu always does. She talks in circles. She gives this whole speech about liking Sung-il since day one, but then finding an opening later. It's just a word salad. She listed Subin, Sung-hoon, and Sung-il. Basically, she likes everyone and no one.
This is where Minji's analytical side really shines through. She cuts right through the noise. She listens to Minasu list off these options, and she makes a critical observation. She just asks, so you're just interested in whoever likes you?
That was the aha moment. I literally gasped. Minji just laid it all out there. She stripped away the whole confused innocence act. And the wildest part of it, Minasu admits it. She says, yeah, I like guys who like me. She even says she wishes someone else would just make the decision for her.
Which is crucial for understanding why Minasu lost this episode. She has surrendered her agency completely. She's waiting to be chosen rather than doing the choosing. She is defining her value entirely by external validation.
Wow, yeah.
And Minji's rebuttal, when she says, no, you need to decide for yourself, is essentially an instruction on how to be the protagonist of your own life. Minji is saying, you can't win if you don't play.
And then Minasu starts crying. She goes off and cries because she felt attacked. She said she felt disrespected that Minji said she doesn't know herself. But, like, Minasu, you literally just said you didn't know yourself. You admitted it first.
It's a classic defense mechanism. Minasu felt exposed. Minji didn't just critique her strategy, she critiqued her character flaw. And when you're used to being the center of attention and having men fawn over your confusion, having another woman hold up a mirror to that vanity is painful.
It has to hurt.
It shifts the dynamic from rivals to victim and bully, which allows Minasu to retreat without answering the hard questions. But Minji didn't have time for tears. She was gearing up for the game.
The hat and tail game. This was gladiator status. The women had to compete for a paradise date by snatching each other's hats or tails. And Minji. She entered the arena with one goal, and that was destruction.
Her focus was terrifyingly efficient. She mentioned wanting to pair with Minasu to quote-unquote teach her a lesson, but she ended up facing Han in the bracket, and she just erased her, pushed her out of bounds with this scary charisma. It wasn't just physical strength, it was pure intent.
It was so clean. But the real drama was the round between Ju Young and Minasu. There was personal beef there, I swear.
Yeah.
Ju Young grabbed Minasu's tail and yanked it so hard it looked like she was bobbing for apples. She was dragging her through the sand.
It definitely reflected the frustration the other women feel toward Minasu. Minasu has been the bottleneck of the entire season, holding on to multiple men, keeping them all in limbo. Ju Young wasn't just playing a game, she was venting that frustration.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Minji takes the final win against Ju Young in seconds. It was a physical manifestation of her taking control of the narrative. She is now the most powerful person on the beach.
And we have to mention Sung-il on the sidelines during all this. He's watching Minji win, smiling like, that's my girl. Excuse me. Sir, you were ignoring her 5 minutes ago. The fair weather fandom was so real.
Sung-il is what I'd call a momentum investor. He sees Minji rising in power, literally winning the power to choose, and suddenly his interest is piqued. He wants to be associated with the winner, which leads us perfectly to the dinner scene, where that dynamic plays out so awkwardly.
The dining room chess match? This was painful to watch. Sung-il sits down, and there's an empty seat right next to him. Does he save it for Minji, the girl he's suddenly so proud of? No. He lets Han sit there. He ends up across from Minasu again, and they start rewriting history.
Right.
They're chatting like their paradise date was fun and cute, completely ignoring the fact that it was a total disaster.
It's mutual gaslighting. They are trying to convince themselves there's a spark because it's the path of least resistance. It's much safer to pretend the old connection exists than to face the uncertainty of the new reality. But Minji wasn't having it. She finishes eating, stands up, and immediately pulls Subin for a one-on-one.
This was the power move of the century. Sung-il sees her leaving and tries to walk over, probably to give her some of that mixed signal magic he loves so much. And Minji just holds up a hand. She practically says, talk to the hand. She says, no, I'm talking to someone right now.
She shut him down cold.
Oh, cold. And Sung-il had to do that awkward little spin and walk away. It was delicious.
What Minji is doing here is reclaiming her value. She knows Song-il takes her for granted. By publicly rejecting him and engaging with Subin, who is Hee-sun's partner and arguably the most high-value male in the current hierarchy, she is signaling that she is a free agent. She's telling Song-il, I have options, and you are losing your spot in line.
Speaking of losing spots in line, let's talk about the closure tour Minasu went on. She finally pulls Subin aside to apologize for the campfire jealousy incident from the previous episodes.
It was a necessary apology, and it seemed genuine this time. But Subin's response was a masterclass in emotional intelligence. He accepts the apology, but he gently closes the door. He tells her his feelings for Hee-sun have grown too much. He doesn't leave a single window open.
He friend-zoned her so politely she almost didn't even notice. But then, Minasu does this pivot that made my head spin. The second Subin says no, she's like, okay, well now I want to get to know Sung-hoon. Sung-hoon, the guy who has been in the background the whole time. Do you buy this? Is she actually interested, or is she just looking for a life raft?
It feels entirely reactive. Again, she's looking for who is left rather than who do I want. She's scrambling to secure a connection because her primary options, Subin and Song-il, are slipping away. She treats Sung-hoon like a safety net, not a person.
And meanwhile, Sung-il is slipping because he's trying to crawl back to Minji. He corners her and gives this big speech about how Minasu isn't an option anymore and promises. No more mixed signals.
Which is an admission that he knew he was giving mixed signals before. He's only clarifying his stance now because he feels Minji pulling away. It's panic-induced clarity.
Exactly. And Minji, oh, Minji. She admits she's happiest with him. I wanted to shake her. Don't make it easy for him.
It's the danger of vulnerability. She's winning the strategic game, but emotionally, she's still tethered to him. However, her choice for the Paradise State suggests she's a lot stronger than we think.
The Paradise picks. This was maximum chaos. We had 3 winners, Minji, Ju-young, and Hee-sun. Minji goes first. Everyone thinks she's going to reward Sung-il for crawling back. But no, she picks Subin.
This was a shock to the system.
My jaw was on the floor. Subin is Hee-sun's man. Why did she do it?
It's multi-layered. 1, it's revenge against Sung-il, showing him she can walk away. 2, it's a test for herself to see if she can actually enjoy paradise without the toxicity of Sung-il hanging over her. And 3, she's genuinely curious about Subin because he represents the good guy archetype she hasn't really explored yet. But practically, it throws a grenade into the group dynamic.
And then Hee-sun steps up. With Subin taken by Minji, you'd think she might play it safe or pick a random. But she picks Sung-hoon.
And that is the checkmate against Minasu.
Yes. Minasu was just saying she wanted to get to know Sung-hoon, and Hee-sun snatched him right out from under her nose. Minasu was literally punching a pillow in the background because all her options, Subin, Sung-il, Sung-hoon, were effectively taken or blocked.
It left Minasu completely isolated. The main character suddenly had no scene partners. It's a total collapse of her social capital. Meanwhile, Ju-young picks Jae-jin, which was the only stable, sensible choice in this entire ceremony.
Finally, Ju-young is moving on from the Hin-jae drama. But we have to talk about the Paradise Dates, because the biggest reveal of the season happened. Sun-hoon. We thought he was just this nice, quiet guy. And then he drops the resume.
This was a fascinating sociological moment. We learn he's 28, a UC Berkeley grad, former Google employee, and currently a quant trader in New York.
Quant trader.
Yeah.
New York. The man is a literal genius and probably loaded. I was sitting there like, wait, this whole time we've been sleeping on the most eligible bachelor on the island.
It completely reframes his boring edit. He's not boring, he's highly analytical.
Right.
A quant trader deals in high-risk probability and silence. He's been observing, gathering data. In the real world, his status is incredibly high.
Exactly. In these dating shows, real-world status is a currency. And Sung-hoon just revealed he's a billionaire in that currency. It makes you wonder, if Minasu knew this on day 1, would she have ignored him?
I think we both know the answer to that. It highlights how much the island hierarchy is based on superficial charm versus long-term value. Sung-hoon is long-term value.
Meanwhile, Minji and Subin's date was, well, polite.
It was respectful. They bonded over sports and values, but Subin kept bringing up Hee-sun. He's very loyal. But I appreciated his honesty. He told Minji, I can't read your feelings clearly because of Sung-il. He didn't lead her on at all. He acknowledged her sincerity while maintaining his own boundaries.
That's a good guy. And then we have Ju-young and Jae-jin. They look like a real couple on that boat, taking selfies, vibing. It didn't feel like a first date. It felt like they've been dating for months.
That's the slow burn payoff. While everyone else was caught up in the high drama triangles, Jae-jin was intentionally creating small moments with Ju-young. That strategy paid off. They have genuine comfort.
But because this show loves to torture us, we end on a cliffhanger back at Inferno. Go-yoon is telling Sungmin that she feels they are growing at the same pace, which again lies because Sungmin has been obsessed since the start. And then enter Egon.
I love this moment. Egon walks up with Han, sees the two of them talking, and just interrupts. He literally says, "When are you going to come hang out with me?"
It was so rude and so perfect.
It's ironic justice. Sungmin's signature move is interrupting people, remember the kitchen scene we just talked about, and claiming women before they can settle down. Now Egon is using that exact tactic against him. It's a mirror moment. Sungmin is getting a taste of his own medicine.
I cannot wait to see Sungmin's face in the next episode. He looked ready to fight.
So if we pull back and look at the big picture of episode 9, the theme is really the loss of control. Mina-Soo, who held all the cards, lost her grip because she refused to play them. She held onto her confusion for too long, and the market moved on without her.
That's such a good way to put it. The market moved on, Min-ji stepped up, Ju-young stepped up, and even Sung-hoon stepped up by just existing with that resume.
Yeah.
The side characters became the main characters.
Precisely. It raises a fascinating question about strategy. Is it better to be the prize that everyone fights over, or the player who actively makes the moves? Mina-Soo tried to be the prize, but Min-ji played the game.
And Min-ji won the battle. But we'll have to see if she wins the war. Which brings me to the thought I want to leave you with today. We were all shocked Min-ji picked Subin. But I want to ask you, was this a masterstroke of strategy to make Sung-il jealous and prove her independence? Or was it a self-sabotaging move that wasted a precious date on a guy who was already committed to someone else?
That is the ultimate question. Did she burn a bridge to light the way, or did she just burn the bridge?
We're going to find out soon. The next episode is delayed, but the finale is coming up, and I have a feeling the chaos is just getting started. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our breakdown of the final episodes.
There is definitely a lot more to unpack.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next dive.